Welcome to Grandma's Handbag, everyone. So glad you could join us. Cheers to you all. Grandma's little helper today. Little Creatures Single Batch Reinhold, this is called. Little Creatures is an Australian, well, it was a craft brewery. It's been bought out by majors, but they do these single batch releases. And this is a Stick Alt beer. So an old beer style out of Germany. I think it's at 6.5%. And you can see from that colour there, well, I hope you can anyway, that it is tending towards dark toffee, little roasty, very tasty, roasty tasty, and still quite needed. Glad you could join us. I'm in a slightly different surround today. I just thought I'd try something different. Got home early. It's awful outside weather-wise, so if you hear some pitter-patter and everything on top, don't be too alarmed. I just hope it doesn't go overboard. It's a nice sort of misty drizzle with a couple of heavier patches coming through. Anyway, the shirt says it all. This is collection time vision. So, and I'm theming it again this week. I want to do a collection, show my collection of basically what I've called before my Rosetta Stone. So Pink Floyd was one of the very first artists I ever got into in a big way and collected. And I would have been in my teens, 16, 17 when that really started. Interesting story though. Actually, I'll get back to the story in just a second. The reason why I want to do it is that I've been reading this Syd Barrett Dark Globe by Julian Palacios. This was lent to me by a lovely fella from work, James. Thank you, James, for lending that to me. And have to recommend as the best Barrett book I've read. It really doesn't, without going into a book review, it really doesn't subscribe or even engender or pander to the Sid is mad myth. So very refreshing for all of that. Anyway, that's just had me thinking back and you know, it was because Sid and Sid's Pink Floyd was one of the very first loves I had musically as a teenager. So I was very, very lucky to, well, to have that lent to me. And even further than that, actually, James as well gave me another book. So I thought I'd just show some books that I have. I used to have a lot more. I must have given them away, I think. But he also gave me this Inside Out, A Personal History of Pink Floyd, Nick Mason. So this is the one that came out, I think, late 90s or early 2000s. Not a cheap book back then, £30 as well. So a lovely, lovely gift. So it was really, really nice of James to give us that. And that's definitely been one of the better, well, one of the only inside perspective books, I would say. But picture-wise and recollection-wise, it's been fantastic. A really, really good read and some very unique pictures too. Alright, I hope that doesn't bobble too much. So my history with Pink Floyd, one anecdote I wanted to share with you because I really remember this clearly and I don't know how or why this happened, but I remember being, it was 1987 I would say, or 88, Christmas 88. And I remember being in a department store and I would have just been 10 years old and I saw a box set, Pink Floyd 1975 to 1988. If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it up there for you. Because what it was a box set I saw there, and I think it might be Australian only, but I actually distinctly remember turning around to my mum and saying, with no foresight or a real idea of what Pink Floyd was, I think I was just taken by these two, the sound of these two words together. I said to my mum, I'll own that one day. So Mum, I haven't bought it yet. I'm sorry, I haven't lived up to my end of the bargain. I've bought a hell of a lot else of Pink Floyd stuff, which we'll see in just a second. So, a couple of other quick books. This came out in '95, so I would have been just starting out my Pink Floyd madness obsession. And believe it or not, I hunted this down for years because I didn't actually buy it at the time, and it slipped into my hands about a year ago. So good things come to those who wait 22 years, 21 years. Anyway, and last one, another book, echoes the stories behind every Pink Floyd song. Not too bad, not the best, not too bad. Alright, what first? Tapes. I'll show you a couple of... No, I'll show you CDs, okay? The next step on the Pink Floyd journey, my cousin bought me this, and I'm pretty sure this came out in '95. One of the very first things I do remember also getting. Pink Floyd Pulse. And guess what? I just refreshed the batteries. So it's a Pulse pack of the live album. I'll go through these quickly just because CDs first. The Vision Bell, just a standard one. The Final Cut, I think I've cut that out as part of a 2-for-1. Collection of Great Dance Songs. Really don't rate this album, but I found it again recently and I just couldn't leave it there. I'd sold it before but took it back in. Pink Floyd The Wall, I think this is a late 90s remaster reissue. Early copy of Animals, there's no barcode on that one. And a more recent, I think late 90s again, version of Animals. Not sure why I've got two, but there you go. So we're going backwards in time through the studio albums on CDs here. Wish You Were Here, this is the 2 CD Experience Edition. And for that, disc 2, really, really essential part of the Floyd. If you can find the songs or the album, the 2 CD version, make sure you grab that. It's got 3 tracks from Live at Wembley '74. They'll turn up soon. I'm pretty sure you'll see. And you've also got Wine Glasses and even the Stephanie Grappelli version of Wish You Were Here. So for Pink Floyd completists, they'll certainly know what that's about, and they'll probably have it and tell me, why are you talking what we know already, Dean? But there you go. Dark Side of the Moon, this is the 20th anniversary edition in '93. I picked this up second hand maybe 2 or 3 years later. I've always liked the artwork. There's the straight sort of booklet, and then you get a few extra artwork cards with the XX for the 20th anniversary edition on there. Nothing hugely special. Geez, I gotta hurry up. This could go for a little while. And I also remembered, just quickly, James Griffiths, he did a version, well not a version, he did a Pink Floyd ranking a while ago, and I remember him saying, it was one of his earlier videos, him saying that when he joined the VC, it was almost seen as a rite of passage to do a Pink Floyd ranking or collection video. So consider this mine. Have I arrived yet? I hope I have. Anyway, Obscured by Clouds. I think that's a US version. Yes, it is on Capitol. Then I found, actually, well, it's another US Capitol, but an earlier version. Straight Metal, Straight Relics. You can see where I started buying all of these. Obviously the 94 remasters. Amagama, it's a double. I've probably lost, I don't know if this had a poster. Anyway, if I have, I've lost it. More Saucer Full of Secrets and Stereo Piper, and one I'm a little more pleased to get, the 30th anniversary of Piper at the Gates of Dawn from 1997. I remember buying this when it came out. Cost a pretty penny as well. So again, you got that inlay, the 97 artwork, I don't know how I feel about that artwork actually. And you had 4 pictures, postcards with that little 3 bitten out for the 30. And I don't know if I'm holding those up well enough for you. Anyway. So, yeah. There's the studio albums. What else have I got here? The first 3 singles. That was released, I think, for the 30th anniversary in '97. The Interstellar Overdrive and Nick's Boogie from Tonight, Let's All Make Love in London. So I think they're, what, October 66 or early January 67 recordings. Pink Floyd Live, The Wall. Is there anybody out there? 8081. So that's the book. This is a lovely box set. I don't think the long box comes out this way anymore, but very, very comprehensive staging notes and all those sorts of things in there, along with the discs, as you can see in the front and the back. So yeah, nice package that. It's a good way to humanise The Wall here at Live, I must say. And the one that pretty much got me started into it all, Syd Barrett's Crazy Diamond, the 3 CD set from '93 that pretty much collects everything he recorded, more or less. Alright, and we've got some boots now. CD boots, Pink Floyd Live, unapproved. On the back here we've got Time, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, Careful with That Axe, Eugene, Money and Echoes. Another live one. These are Australian releases that sort of somehow flaunted copyright for a short while until a loophole was closed. So, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Welcome to the Machine, Have a Cigar, Wish You Were Here, and Shine On You Crazy Diamond. So all live stuff. The quality was always, you never knew what you were going to get on those ones. A couple of slightly better quality boots. This is, I think these are Teddy Bear Records ones. So, The Great Gig on the Moon, this is recorded, this is basically, obviously Dark Side, or as it was known then, the Eclipse Suite. So you'll see that they're recorded in Japan, March 12, 1972. Basically a year before Dark Side came out. Very interesting document. And the sound quality isn't too bad. And this one here, Psychedelica Mania, recorded live at the Fillmore West, May 1970. So I don't know if you can see the track listing there, but you're no doubt going to have... well, you got Adam Hart, Mother and Embryo, Careful with That Axe, Eugene, Astronomy, Domini, Grantchester Meadows, and Green as a Colour. Alright, tapes. 2 quick ones. I really don't... I thought I had more tapes, but I don't. But here's an interesting one for you. A nice pair on double cassette. The fat cassette. There you go. And Pink Floyd Relics. Now this is an Australian one. I think this was not meant to have been released from memory. And it's a coin cover. They didn't get the clearance to release this, especially on the CD version at the time. And also again, James Griffiths, you asked for the Australian version of Music for Pleasure, and I said it was Axis. So there's an Axis label right there for you. And I've lost it. Some might say I lost it a long time ago. Okay, into the good stuff, the vinyl. Now, I really haven't bought much Pink Floyd on vinyl in 20 years, so most of these I would have picked up between about 1995 and 2000, more or less, anyway. Yeah, there's things I could get. I could probably be a lot more completist, but more or less I'm pretty happy with what I've got at the moment. So, Another Brick in the Wall, 7-inch single, huge seller, #1. Pink Floyd on the Turning Away with Run Like Hell, a live version that is off Momentary Lapse of Reason, which actually is the only album I don't have because, sorry, I just can't find much, if anything, to love. If I come across a couple of songs on there that I don't mind, I think On the Turning Away might be one of the better ones. Can't remember the others, but that's why I can't remember them, because don't dig it. Alright, and an interesting one, Pink Floyd, Money with Any Colour You Like, capital, I don't know if it is Starline, so there's the Starline. Obviously a jukebox copy, and I'm just trying to see if this is got anything special about it, whether it was recut, say like a collection of great dance songs or that. It's not saying it here. It's originally released April 73, and it's a 3-minute 59 single cut of Money. So there you go, Money, Any Colour You Like. Alright, onto the 12 inches. First we'll go with a solo, and then we'll work our way backwards. Solo, 7-inch, actually I lied, one more 7-inch. Roger Waters, Tide Is Turning after Live Aid, and The Powers That Be as a 7-inch. That, I cannot tell, I think it's a US copy. Pretty sure it is. Alright, next solo, David Gilmour, Blue Light, 12-inch disco. Really haven't spun this in a long time, so there's not a lot I can tell you about that one. Likewise, Richard Wright's Wet Dream. I really need to give this a listen, because the older I get, the more I realise how integral Rick Wright's playing and his keyboards are basically to the construction and the feel of Floyd's songs, so I have to get into that. Now, here's the one I love. The Madcap Laughs, 1997, EMI 100, so the first centenary release. Direct metal mastered, virgin vinyl pressings, heavy quality sleeves. It is lovely condition as well, so there you go. There have been rumours over time. Obviously I bought this in 97 and it cost me, well there you go, 50 Australian dollars back then, so this would be $100 now. It cost a fortune for me at that time, but it was worth the investment. There have been rumours that these were mastered from CD, which is probably a little disconcerting, to be honest. As in they weren't specifically mastered or cut for vinyl, but not too bad anyway. Compilations. Pink Floyd, Masters of Rock. I hope this glare's not too bad, and I won't harp on about that, but Pink Floyd, Masters of Rock. I think this is a Dutch or possibly a German. It might be a German press. Anyway, early stuff. It's quite similar, I think, to Relics, Masters of Rock. There's the back again. Okay. Pink Floyd Works. This is a pretty interesting one. I remember getting this. I think this was paid about $16 for this back in the late 90s. So nice condition as well. And they still put it out on the lovely Harvest label. So it was nice to see those early works turn up there. And I think the reason I wanted this was precisely because you get the studio version of Embryo on there, as we know. So a very interesting curio for all of that. Now let's see if I can do a cracking vinyl and get it in there. It's not going to work, and there it goes. Okay. What else have we got next? Ah! Bootleg time. Alright. $15 paid for this about 20 years ago. Pink Floyd, Raving and Drooling. It's all over here except for the shouting. This is on the TAKRL label. I forget exactly what that stood for. Let's have a look inside. And in pure bootleg fashion, side 1, or side 2, side 1. Yeah. What else to say about this? The tracks, Raving and Drooling, You've Got to Be Crazy, and then the whole side 2 is Shine On You Crazy Diamond. So this is the 74 tour, part of what I said, where the Wish You Were Here disc 2 came from, and the CD one. So definitely, I think I've come to realise that 74 tour is an absolute, like a turning point, you know. I think it was the last time they were really playing as a band with something to prove. They were hungry, you know. Anyway, might have given this a quick outing before, but we have an early boot of early stuff. Pink Floyd, Psychedelic Games for May. There we go. Sid's on the back there, and I don't know if you can see the track listing. It's got them here. So you've got the early Lucy Leave and King Bee. Then you've got Candy in a Currant Bun, Flaming, Power 2CH, Astronomy Domini, Interstellar Overdrive, Reaction in G, Stoned Alone, Vegetable Man, and Scream the Last Scream. And that's what I was going for off those, specifically Vegetable Man, Scream the Last Scream, often bootlegged, not released until just a couple of years ago actually, which I do need to pick up as well, those CD box sets. But yeah, for a long time that was about the only place I could get those. Another boot, the lovely named The Dark Side of the Moo. Anyway. Yeah, look, I haven't played this in a long time, so I'm not even remembering what's on here. Here we go, Trixie Records. Oh, the puns don't stop. We got this side and other side. What? Love it. Again, it's you've got their early stuff on side 1, and then side 2, Heartbeat, Pigmeat, Crumbling Land, Embryo, Coming Number 51, Your Time Is Up, and Mademoiselle Knob. So a few things that were hard to get. They may be different mixes possibly, but off things like the Zabriskie Point soundtrack and the likes of that. So that was $25 from Time Warp. Wow, now that's a... It was probably horribly overpriced, but still. Time Warp was a store run by Glenn A. Baker. Alright. Pink Floyd Tour 73. And it's not too bad artwork and things on this, all things considered. Again, another 25 bucker. Ooh, with a seam split. And so side 1, we have Echoes, beautifully misspelt, and side 2 we've got Fat Old Sun and Embryo. So they're not ones you see too often. Well, not Fat Old Sun anyway. Alright, getting down to the studio records. Showed this one not too long ago. This is the 2016 re-release of the Final Cut. My goodness. Pink Floyd The Wall. This isn't in such a great set condition, but I did pay just $3 for that. And I'd say it was not an original 79 press, it might be a second or third, an early reissue anyway. Pink Floyd Animals, I think a US press, just a straight one. Love that big hype sticker up there. Although you could do without it as well, couldn't you? Here's an interesting one. Wish You Were Here, but can anyone tell where that's from? I don't think this even turns up on Discogs. And I can't 100% tell if it's an official release. Pretty sure it's from Taiwan. When I look at the matrix numbers, they come up with a Japanese matrix number though, which is quite interesting. So, love to know more about that one. Lovely thick card sleeve as well. Alright. Japanese press of Dark Side of the Moon. And for all the lovely cover, and I always remember wanting a Dark Side that didn't have the circle or anything on there. For all of that, this is actually the worst press that I have, only because, well, not the press, it's the worst condition that I've got of Dark Side. And I think it was a later 70s, so you've got EMI on there rather than an Odeon or any of the earlier ones. So, next one, we have an Australian quad press of Wish You Were Here, of Dark Side. It's got the thing there, but what it also has, the posters. Actually, should put them up in the shed, the man cave here, hey? So it is nice to have one of these with the actual posters intact. Now I forget if there was something else. Was there postcards or that went with them as well? Anyway, or stickers. I think maybe it was stickers with Floyd with Dark Side. If anyone knows, leave a note in the comments. But yeah, I mean, what teenager's bedroom in the 70s didn't have these in there, you know? So ubiquitous was this album. But anyway, it's nice to have a quad copy. These, for some reason, have started going up in price a bit. Obviously, because they don't make quads anymore, presses, or I don't think they do. But you used to see these everywhere, Australian quad presses. Very interesting. And another one, again, the no label on the front, and this I think at $6, so you can see I was buying up whatever I could at the time. Not too bad a condition, but interesting to see that this turns up on the Harvest label, and this is a New Zealand press. So yeah, that's actually an interesting and a pretty good one to have. Not too shabby on the sound quality either, just a straight stereo, but that was a good one. You saw me pick this up, or some of you might have. It's probably my second most recent copy, and I couldn't resist the Japanese second press, I think, of Obscured by Clouds, for those beautiful, lovely, rounded edges. Odeon in the back there, and there were some extras as well, which were really nice. I'll see if I can find a link to when I found that. One of my very early videos, anyway. Australian press of Obscured by Clouds. Oftentimes the Australian ones got kind of short change on the covers as well. On the left here, the Japanese press, and look how, you know, ordinary and washed out the Australian. I mean, I know it's unfocused, but that's really kind of average. Alright, metal, that's I think just a straight Australian press. Adam Hart Mother, and this is actually a quad as well, so there you go. It's a quad Adam Hart Mother. It's funny, why was there no metal quad? Was that addressed in the recent box sets? Did they have a metal quad mix that they put on a DVD? I'm trying to remember here, but Anyway, the cover's pretty average, but the disc is in pretty good condition. I don't know if you can see that. You got your SQ there. Okay, Pink Floyd Relics. Pretty sure this is the Aussie, yeah. It's an Australian press on drum. So there's another budget label. James Griffiths attached to EMI. I don't know that many other people got the coin cover. Alright, here's a bit of Anorak time. Wow, I don't know why they're still out actually. Oh, I must have been playing them. Oh well, I'll show you that next. One disc, sides 3 and 4, the live ones of Amagama. Australian press. I think I got given that by a friend. Very lucky to do that too, to get that. Alright. The madness, the craziness. A nice pair. A nice pair of a nice pair. I had to get both sets here. Now I can't remember exactly which one's which. You've got, I think it's the same on the back, but on the front obviously needed the Gargling Monk and the Fang. So that's the Fang cover. And obviously they also actually have slightly different track listings. So there's the actual discs that go inside those. I've always kept them separate. I don't know why I did that exactly, but maybe just easier to get in and out or stop the ring wear. Australian original first press of More. I think this also cost me $16 when I bought it. The original price was $6. So yeah, there you go, Australian copy of More. Alright, down to the last two. 1997 mono press 30th anniversary remaster of Piper at the Gates of Dawn. So that's the only one I have of theirs, of this album on vinyl. Yeah, it's nice gatefold. Again, as I mentioned before, this may have been mastered from a digital source or from a CD, so a little bit disappointing to hear that. But in the meantime, it's good quality, nice thick, and just interesting to see the slightly different disc works, disc labels and so forth. So yeah, alright, and as I tend to do, I've left a favourite for last. Wish You Were Here. This is an Australian quadraphonic press from 75. Apparently these are getting rather rare. So, as you can see down here, whoa, I'll see if I can move that around this way instead. That'd be smart of me. You can see down near my finger there, quadraphonic, and this thing just plays beautifully. And I've never been able to completely confirm, but my impression is that there's some little segment right at the end of part 9 of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, or maybe it's after part 5. Actually, I think it might be after part 5 on the first side. You get this beautiful end bit that I really don't think ends up on any other Floyd album, any other version of that album. I may be wrong, and I'm probably very wrong, but it's something really tantalizing, something beautiful. So absolute treasure for me. And this one cost me $8, I think. So nowadays they go for 20 times that amount, I think. But very lucky to pick this up, and on the old Sanyo, it sounds absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, that is Floyd done and dusted. Let us never talk of it again. Actually, don't listen to me there. love to hear all your thoughts. Leave us a comment. Tell me what you think. If you got a favourite in there, love to know. Cheers to everyone. Thank you also as well to new subscribers. Had a couple of new people on board. Enjoy the journey. I hope there's something in here for you. I know I tend to rabbit on with some things, but hey, if you get passionate, that's what happens to you. So in the meantime though, shine on, all you crazy diamonds. Cheers.